Okay, this is the rubrics of this semester. First, this part, every students who upload your final project, you will be assigned 3 classmates. So you have to evaluate, right? So first, please fill the persons you evaluate, his name, his department, his ID. Check, there is nothing wrong. And this is for yours, okay? So first, please introduce yourself. I mean, in the video, YouTube video. Introduce yourself, the resource, and the data donation of the organization, and the data address. Link here is only 1% of the total project. And if you found it, the classmates do it correctly, you just give 1. Otherwise, if you lost it, miss to do this part, you will have minus. Okay, and you have to tell why it is lost, because just miss. And which part you found, maybe in the video, you found totally, you missed this part, maybe. You just have to record if you have any mistake, and you have to record. Otherwise, just correct. You just fill the correct. It's okay. Understand? You understand what I mean? 如果他做对，就给他分数。好，漏做的话呢，就是如果他漏做的话呢，是直接倒扣哦。哈，好，那做错的部分呢？做错就是这边不是嘛，对不对？好，那这边呢，你就是写0分，他做错了。好，做错的话填0分哦，哈，因为他没有做对，那就说他做错哪些地方，然后从哪几分几秒开始发现你做错。好，那发现他做错，然后那个老师就会去查是不是真的做错。Okay, and the second part is the metadata. Metadata, it will include it, the how many instances, how many attributes, and what is the target attribute, and also included the type of the data attribute. Okay, attribute of the data. So, if you combine 2 different data set, 在研究所那边有人是 concat 2 different data set into 1, you will get the extra point, 5 point, right? So in this part, you have to introduce, okay? And this is a type. This is a definition. Is there any missing value? And the number 4, you have to tell me why you delete some attribute, or you have a directive attribute. For example, you will use the date, month, and the day will find the duration or the day time. Okay. How do you handle this missing value? You use the mean or median or mode. Anyway, you have to tell me, right? If you don't tell us, and you can also tell us there is not missing value, that would be correct. Otherwise, you have to tell us the original data set, how many instances, and after your preprocessing, and how many data set in this data set you give us. And this part, you have to tell us, do you do the discretization? If you do it, please tell us why. For example, maybe the income, maybe the age, you will do the discretization. It have to be do or not to do. For decision tree, it's all fine. Okay, because it's not strictly have to make sure your attribute have to strictly nominal or numeric. It could be original. It's okay, but you can tell us, do you do it or not for decision tree? And this part, what is your encoder? Do you use the one-hot encoder or label encoder? You have to tell us and what is your reason. And then you have to use the data set cut into the 80% and 20% and give us the 20% accuracy for testing data set. Please demo your code. If you do not demo your code, it is just like the miss doing, okay? So this part you have to show. And in this semester, we just unify the random status, random state have to be the same. In this semester, we just use the the deadline. The deadline will be this of our final project. Our deadline is, I remember 8, right? 好，今年我们的 render state 统一设成2025-0108，好，这样才不会有人用到别人的资料集。所以你在 show 的时候 ，please demo your code. You have to let us know 这个 part。好 ，OK， 要这个 part。然后呢，在 demo 的时候，顺便可以按一下跑出来的结果。好，就是这个部分要做 show 一下，这样子。好 ，render state 是一样的哦，你设不一样的，要予以做，不算漏做，算做错啊，因为代表你不是照我们今年的哈。好 ，OK， and the Gini index, decision tree, please use 2 attribute selection, including the card and the C4.5. So this matter we do not use the C4.5, we just use the card. Okay, the 2 method means model selection and chi-square. Chi-square method and the model selection. And the Python, please use the Gini index and intra-B index. Okay, you understand? Okay, so please tell us. And then you can use different parameters for C and N and the bit of the tree. And you just give us 8 different parameters. That is fine. Okay. And finally, please suggest which tree is the best. Please apply the tree size and the leaves. And for this data set, what is your suggestion? What is your reason? Okay. And the next part. Please, if you have how many different categories, you have to provide different rules. For example, I have 2 categories. One is for yes, one is for no. At least you have to introduce the rules. For one is for yes, one is for no. Okay. If you can find any result, you have to do resample, right? 如果你找不到任何的数，你是不是要 resample？ 对吧？好。那这边的 resample 呢，我们可以让大家只做一个就可以了。那我们一律定一个，大家觉得如果找不到这边 resample 用哪一个？好，这里就是如果找不到 resample 用一个就可以了。这边没有要求这么多哈。resample 用一个方法。Okay, and then in this part, please use the best parameter, but this time do not use the cut, split, percentage 80 and 20, full data set, and use the cross validation as the folder as a file. Please demo the code. 这边是 full data 哦，这边特别注意是 full data， 好，不要做错了，这边就提醒你了，好。And for the R Python part, we will delete. Python part, we do not. We will test in the exam, but we do not use in your final project. 我们讲过了，对不对 ？Python 我们是用考的。那 R 的部分，请你在家里做这个 final project 啊。你的所有 preprocessing have to demo your code. 那记住哈 ，R 的部分 have to discretization all the attribute. It could not be numeric, interval. Okay, so you have to demo the code, and that so if you do you use the resample? So this part we have to remind you. Do you think when we have to use the resample in a query, a query association rule, if you cannot find all the category rule, then you have to resample, right? If my data set have 2 categories, my 2 category is my Y is yes and Y is no, and I can find the result respectively. I do not have to resample, 对吧？如果我可以找到，我就不用 resample。 But I only can find a no, cannot find a yes. Then I have to resample. 那如果我要 resample， 这边要怎么样？要3个方法，要 under resample， 要 over resample， 要 small。所以你最好找个资料集是不要这么没有，不要这么极端哈。好，就是要3个。如果这边需要做的话，就是要3个，没做就叫做漏做，起码要倒扣哦。好 ，but 这个地方如果他已经有了，他还自己多做 resample， 这叫做错。做错跟做错跟漏做哪个比较严重？漏做是没做嘛？啊，你该做这件事情没做，因为比较费工哦，这个扣你比较多。但你如果不该做的反而做的话，就叫做错哦，行吗？失去这个分数啊，那没做是倒扣，不仅失去这个分数，还要再倒扣哦。好。So finally, please provide each category the most special or obviously rules. And in an SVM, do you have a discretization and a reason? Do you have the record? What code do you use? Label encoder, Waha encoder? Please tell us. Do you have a standard deviation? 好，这个应该要你的标准化应该要秀code才对哈。所以这里就是 demo 你的 code。好，这里也是正确率。好，然后呢，你的 SVM 呢，请你试4种不同的参数。SVM 你可以试不一样的参数哈，2种，一种是 linear， 一种是 SVC 的哈。训练跟测试，这个我们今天会讲哈。那需要展示程式码啊，这个分数比较多啊。最后建议啊，哪一个模型通常都是测试正确率比较高的。好，now today we will introduce the random forest. Okay, we will introduce the random forest. Also, do you discretization? Do you label encoder or Waha encoder? Do you read encoder? Do you have a standard deviation and standardize the data and cut 20% for testing? And this part, because it's random forest, so 它最大的参数是它的那个 tree 的 size 啊 ，tree 的 size 要用几棵树哈。好，那请你选4种不同的，好，然后秀出来，好，这个要 demo 你的 code。好，最后的 suggestion 理由，然后呢，从30到36是 k-nearest neighbor， 我们已经讲过了啊。好，最佳的 k 必须要展示程式码，记住最佳的 k 不能是训练测训练哦，训练测训练 k 等于1，是不是会把自己算进去？一定是测试去找训练最合适的 k 哦，所以要 demo code。注意这个地方有没有做错？这个特别我讲 demo code， 就老师会特别挑出来看他到底有没有做对还是做错。希望你要挑仔细。好，再接下来呢，就是我们今天也会教的 voting 的方法啊，包括了 hard voting 跟 soft voting， 那要展示程式码。好，接下来就是把这学期教的 decision tree、SVM、KNN， 然后 hard voting 跟 soft voting 啊，找出最佳的训练跟测试比较。好，这个我们一个改成那个 random forest 好了。好，然后另外一个是 voting， 这个 voting 就是选36 voting 最佳，36 voting 最佳就是 number 36的 voting best。好，这5个去 compare which one is the best。好，这2个是k-means this part will content in your Christmas because I just have to upload because you know our school have too much holidays, but we have to include it all the parts. 好，所以分群完之后要把轮廓命名好，然后命名之后呢，多数决作为预测的正确率。好，最后这个很重要，同学们容易做错哈，就是综合比较本资料最佳的分类模型。这件事比的是什么呢？比的是这个资料的这些方法谁是最好的，好，谁是最好的？对，这是必须来自数据的支持，不是你个人觉得，行吗？是来自于数字的支持啊。 关联法则得到什么结果，分群得到什么结果，决策树得到什么结果啊？这是这个。然后如果要比较的话是谁啊？好，if you give the English subtitles, you will have the extra point 5 points. You combine 2 data sets, then you will have extra point. Okay, so this is the new one. I will re-upload into the Tron class. So, do you have any question? No. So this evaluation you can also check for yourself, your project. Do you check every part? Do you finish every part? 好。